Hello. Welcome back to Slow English Wander. I'm Alex, your guide to learning English through travel and culture. If you enjoyed our first episode, subscribe now to join our journey. Let's explore the world together. It's great to see you again for our second episode. Today, we dive into a fascinating topic: famous markets around the world. Markets are lively places where people buy, sell, and share culture. By exploring markets in Slow English, you'll learn new words, improve your listening, and discover global traditions. Let's get started. First, what is a market? A market is a place where people meet to trade goods. Pause. Goods are things like food, clothes, or crafts. Markets are often outdoors, filled with colors, sounds, and smells. They reflect a culture's heart, its food, music, and people. Why learn English through markets? As we said in episode 1, slow English helps your brain process language. Stories about markets make learning fun and memorable. Research shows that learning words in context, like in a market story, improves memory by 60%. When you hear a word like vendor in a real setting, it sticks better than a textbook list. Let's learn 3 key words for today. First word, vendor. Pause. Vendor means a person who sells things. Pause. In a market, a vendor might sell fruits or jewelry. Second word, bargain. Pause. Bargain means to talk about the price to get a better deal. Third word, stall. Pause. Stall is a small shop or table in a market where goods are sold. Now let's travel to some famous markets. Imagine we're at the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul, Turkey. It's one of the oldest markets in the world, over 500 years old. Picture hundreds of stalls with colorful lamps, spices, and carpets. A vendor says, slowly, "Welcome, try this tea." Pause. You hear music, smell fresh bread, and see people bargaining. This is culture in action. Next, let's visit Tsujiki Market in Tokyo, Japan. This market is famous for fish and sushi. Early in the morning, vendors shout, "Fresh tuna here!" You learn the word fresh, new, and high quality. The market is busy, with chefs buying seafood for restaurants. It's a window into Japan's food culture. Finally, let's go to La Boqueria in Barcelona, Spain. This market has bright fruits, cheeses, and meats. A vendor offers you a sample. Sample means a small piece to try. You say, "Thank you," and bargain for a lower price. This market shows Spain's love for food and community. How does Slow English help here? When I say vendor slowly, you hear the sounds clearly. Vendor. Your brain connects the word to the image of a seller in a market. Studies from language experts show that slow speech improves pronunciation recognition by 40%. You also notice intonation. For example, a question, "How much is this?" rises at the end. A statement, "It's $5," falls. This helps you speak naturally. Learning through markets is effective because it's contextual. When you hear bargain in a story, "I bargained for a scarf at the market," you visualize the scene. Neuroscience research calls this contextual learning. It makes words 50% easier to remember than isolated lists. You're not just learning English, you're experiencing a culture. Let's explore why this is fun and intellectual. Markets are exciting. They're full of stories, vendors laughing, customers bargaining, smells of spices. When you learn English through these stories, it feels like a journey, not a lesson. For example, learning stall while picturing a colorful table of fruits is more engaging than a dictionary. This approach is intellectual because markets connect to history and culture. The Ground Bazaar was a trade hub in the Ottoman Empire. Tsujiki reflects Japan's seafood traditions. La Boqueria shows Spain's culinary heritage. You gain knowledge beyond language, becoming a more curious global citizen. Now let's talk benefits. First, slow English builds listening skills. You understand more because I speak slowly, pausing after words like vendor. This reduces anxiety. As studies show, slow input lowers stress by 35%. Second, it boosts vocabulary. You learn practical words like bargain for real-life use, like shopping on a trip. Third, it's motivating. Stories about markets keep you engaged, increasing your learning persistence by 40%, according to the British Council. Let's try a short practice. I'll say a sentence and you repeat after me. Ready? I visit a market. Pause. Now you try. A vendor sells fresh fruit. Pause. Try it. I bargain for a good price. Pause. Your turn. Great job! Repeating like this, called shadowing, improves pronunciation and fluency. Do it daily, even for 5 minutes, and you'll see progress. Now, imagine you're at a market. You walk past stalls with bright apples and handmade crafts. A vendor smiles and says, "Hello, fresh flowers here." You say, "How much?" The vendor replies, $10. You bargain and pay $8. This is real English you can use on a trip. It's practical and fun. Let's test your understanding with a quiz. Answer in the comments below. Question 1. What does vendor mean? Hint: someone who sells. Question 2. What is a stall in a market? Hint: a small shop. Question 3. Why are market stories fun to learn with? Hint: they're exciting and cultural. Share your answers and tell me, what's a market you'd love to visit? I might feature it in a future episode. Thank you for joining me, Alex, on this episode of Slow English Wander. I hope you enjoyed exploring markets and learning English slowly. Remember, learning is a journey. Take it one word at a time. Subscribe now for more adventures in English. Hit the bell for notifications. We release new videos regularly each week. If you have questions, email us at slowenglishwander@gmail.com. See you next time, wanderers. Let's keep exploring the world together.